How does a program make a choice? To evaluate data and pick a path, Java relies on two essential tools, the if and if-else statements. By the end of this lesson, we are going to build a digital verification checker, a small application that automatically evaluates user data and outputs specific decisions based on what it finds. To get started, open up your dark-themed Java IDE, create a basic main class, and we can begin writing our logic. Mastering this logic allows your code to react to input, ensuring the program only runs specific lines when they are actually needed. Let's look at this IDE workspace. Our primary goal is to check if a user is old enough to vote. We'll start by declaring an integer variable named age and setting it to 20. Next, we write the if statement. We type if, followed by a condition in parentheses, age greater than or equal to 18. That greater than or equal to symbol is a comparison operator. It asks Java to evaluate whether our age variable hits that minimum threshold of 18. Notice the curly braces right after the condition. Any code nested inside these braces will only execute if our mathematical condition is strictly true. Let's add a print statement inside them saying, "You are eligible to vote." This flowchart maps exactly what the code is doing. We begin at the start node, move down to verify the condition, checking if age is at least 18, and because 20 is greater than 18, the logic successfully routes through the true branch to print our action. Run your code. You will see the eligibility success message print directly to your console. The single if statement operates as a strict gatekeeper. It evaluates the data and only opens its doors for valid true inputs. What happens if data fails? Change the age variable to 16 and run the program again. The console is completely empty. The program found the condition false and skipped the block entirely. To fix this silent failure, we use the else statement. Looking back at our flowchart, we define a fallback route when the condition fails, guiding the program to a secondary response. Let's integrate this into our workspace. Right after the closing brace of the if block, add the word else, open a new set of curly braces, and add a specific rejection message, not eligible to vote. Now watch the logic flow. When Java sees the age is 16, the condition evaluates to false. It bypasses the first block entirely and routes directly to our newly created fallback block. Run the updated code. This time, the explicit rejection message appears in the console. By implementing an else statement, we guarantee exactly one response per input. The software will never again fail silently, no matter what data it receives. Apply this exact logic to evaluating exam marks. Let's declare a new integer variable called marks and set it to a failing score of 28. Here in the IDE, we write a completely new if condition. We check if the marks are 35 or higher. If true, we tell the program to print pass. Then we append our else block to catch any score falling below 35, triggering our fail message. One block handles success, the other handles failure. Test the robustness of your logic. Run with a failing 28, then change the marks to 85 to see the passing response. Reusing this binary branching pattern lets you scale up. You can build systems that categorize endless variations of incoming data identically every single time. To fully understand Java's strict syntax rules, we have to intentionally break functional code and see where the system jams. Let's look closely at this condition. A common error is using a single equal sign. That is the assignment operator. It assigns a value. It doesn't compare them. Trying to assign a value inside a condition causes a critical failure. You must use the double equal sign to compare two values. Next are the curly braces. Omitting just one closing brace shatters the logic block's boundaries, leaving the compiler unable to tell where your instructions end. Put the brace back, and the error clears. Finally, watch your placement. The else statement must immediately follow the if block's closing brace. Putting other code between them breaks the logical chain. Mastering these three specific syntax failures provides a checklist for troubleshooting. You are now identifying the specific mechanical requirements Java has for its conditions. It's time to execute your complete digital verification checker one final time. Verify that all four distinct outcomes, passing and failing both the age check and the exam score, print correctly to your console. You've successfully built a reliable decision engine based on a few basic laws. If tests the condition, else catches the falsehoods, and the program executes precisely one path. However, real-world data rarely falls into a simple true or false. How should a program respond when there are dozens of potential classifications for a single variable? like sorting thousands of users into different geographic regions. To manage those multi-tiered decision trees, we will utilize the if-else-if ladder in our next lesson. Everything starts with these binary gates. They are the essential building blocks used to control how data moves through every Java application you'll create. Computers process instructions in strict downward lines. By default, a machine executes commands one by one, from first to last, without independent thought. However, modern software must react to shifting variables. It has to evaluate user inputs, verify security credentials, and change its behavior based on the specific conditions it encounters. Choosing a suboptimal logic structure for these branching paths makes code harder to troubleshoot and more difficult to expand as the software grows more complex. Java addresses this by providing tools designed to handle different decision-making scenarios. We will explore three powerful tools: the nested if, the switch statement, and the ternary operator. Writing effective code requires matching the requirements of a real-world scenario to the specific control statement designed to evaluate those conditions. We begin with the nested if. This structure is used when a program cannot move forward until a foundational prerequisite is met. Consider a multi-level login sequence. A user wants access to a secure dashboard, but the system must verify distinct conditions in specific order before granting access. This flowchart illustrates the layered approach. The primary decision node handles the first layer, verifying the username. If true, logic flows down to validate the password. If that passes, it moves to the third node to check the two-factor authentication code. In Java, this is achieved by placing an if statement inside the block of another if statement, a structure known as a nested if. Because the inner block is contained within the outer one, the program ignores the subsequent checks entirely if the first condition is not met. This prevents the system from running unnecessary computations, such as password hashing or security token checks, if the baseline requirements fail. Next is the switch statement. This applies to scenarios where a single input needs to be routed to one of many parallel outcomes. Take a basic calculator app as an example. The user provides an input and then chooses an operation: add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Checking every operation using standard if-else chains results in repetitive syntax, where the program has to reevaluate the same variable multiple times. The switch statement acts as a central hub, receiving the input once and routing it directly to the matching case node. Each case ends with a break command, telling the program to exit the block and preventing execution of adjacent cases. If the input doesn't match any defined options, a default case handles the exception, ensuring a predictable path for unexpected values. Using a switch statement for these types of problems results in a cleaner architecture that is easier to navigate as you add more options. The final tool is the ternary operator. This shorthand is designed for simple binary decisions, a strict choice between two possibilities. For example, if you're checking an exam score to determine if a student passes or fails, you only have two potential outcomes. Using a full if-else block for such a small check takes several lines of code, cluttering a file if used frequently for minor tasks. Java's ternary operator allows you to condense this logic. By using a question mark and a colon, the entire check is contained on one line, making the code more concise. This structure streamlines the code by resolving simple either-or logic without the need for the verbose syntax of a standard conditional block. To recap, nested ifs handle dependent layers, switch statements route multiple parallel choices, and the ternary operator manages binary splits with minimal syntax. Mastery of these tools involves more than just memorizing the syntax. It requires identifying which control statement best fits the problem you are trying to solve. Once a program can evaluate conditions and select a path, the logical follow-up is making it repeat those decisions automatically. In the next module, we will explore Java loops and see how to apply these decision-making structures to repetitive tasks at scale.